The European Central Bank has raised its key interest rate 0.5%, the first increase for 11 years. The move aims to curb stubbornly high inflation in the eurozone. Analysts predicted a smaller increase, with the bank expected to raise rates again in September. ECB President Christine Lagarde said the larger first step was made with the risk of inflation in mind.
We expect inflation to remain undesirably high for some time, owing to continued pressure from energy and food prices and pipeline pressures in the pricing chain. Higher inflation pressures are also stemming from the depreciation of the euro exchange rate. But looking further ahead, in the absence of new disruptions, energy costs should stabilize.
Well, Christy Pladsen from DW's Business Department can explain what all this means. Welcome, Christy.
Hi, Phil.
We know consumer prices in Europe and indeed around the world going through the roof. Will this rate increase bring them down?
Yeah, I mean, as you just said, this is a historic decision they've taken now, first hike in 11 years. So on that level, it is a little bit unclear exactly what effect this is going to have. It definitely will have an effect, though, of course, raising rates after such a long amount of time. Now, what we do know is that this means that borrowing is going to get more expensive for banks. So banks that want to take a loan out from the European Central Bank, it's going to cost them more. They're going to pass those costs onto you, onto me, anyone looking to get a loan for a house, a loan for a car, businesses as well looking to take out loans. Those interest rates make it more expensive for them right now. And the logic here is that there's a bit too much cash flowing around in the economy right now, pent-up demand from the pandemic. Again, these cheaper loans we've seen the last 11 years, I mean, that's pushing up prices. So the idea here, to some degree, is to disincentivize a lot of that spending and hopefully cool off some of those prices and bring them down. Exactly what's going to happen remains to be seen.
OK, so we'll try it and then, then we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
And the ECB raised rates higher than they originally indicated. Why?
Right. I mean, the situation has unfortunately gotten worse in the economy here in the eurozone since they first announced that they would be raising rates last month. What's happened since then? There's been a whole debacle about Nord Stream 1. This is one of the main gas pipelines coming into Europe, of course. Big questions about whether the Russian gas will keep flowing through that pipeline. So this is knocking on sort of economic confidence. We've also seen the euro fall to the same exchange rate with the dollar. Normally, the euro is above the dollar, so this again indicates pessimism about the European economy. And inflation is also still, as you said, very high, nearly 9% in June. So this is a lot of factors weighing on the economy, posing a risk to economic growth. The ECB had originally wanted to do a gradual rate increase after so long with neutral or even negative rates, but they just felt that the situation was so bad that they had to make a stronger move.
Right, and so the aim presumably is to stop the eurozone from falling into recession. Will this do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really great question. Obviously, this is the whole point of what they're going for here. And what are we talking about when we talk about recession? We're, of course, talking about 2 consecutive quarters of negative economic growth. Now, the thing about raising interest rates is that it's a very delicate balance. If you raise too hard, too quickly, then it's very easy to trigger an economic recession. This is why the ECB had been so reluctant. Many people had said they should have acted months ago, just like the Federal Reserve in the U.S. did. They started raising rates earlier this year. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different factors weighing on the economy right now that raising interest rates is not necessarily going to be the one sort of silver bullet to save it. The high cost of energy is one of the major factors weighing on the price of living right now. So the ECB, unfortunately, doesn't have any control over that. A lot of economists are saying it's more of a question of when and not if.
OK. Christy Pladsen from DW Business, thank you.
Thanks.